label as ill treatment of their chairman.
The lawyers handling this case are most often denied access and are in most times not able to tell the family, friends, and party officials the whereabouts of Bernard and Bawumia. Not being so well, he has been denied access to a medical facility of his choice. This is not the system of governance that Ghanaians subscribe to.
We have details as the New Patriotic Party warns Yoko and security agencies that they must be held responsible if the situation around Chairman Wontumi's arrest escalates. We'll take you live to Yoko headquarters here on Top Story to bring you the latest on this developing story.
The man went to bank and took a facility. He went there with a guarantee. If they think that it is something that they need, they should go after the guarantee, not the person. You cannot put a 50 million surety on one individual. For what? What was the amount of the facility and what is the law? And this is a civil matter. You don't go to that extent.
Tonight we're learning that the former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is stepping in to secure that second surety needed for the release of Chairman Wontumi. We're told he's heading directly to Yoko office as we speak, and we're live on the ground for all the juicy details. My name is Fostina. Sarfo, please stay with us. Top Stories, as always, brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and call. Enjoy a holy sleep. Well, it's been 4 days now since the arrest of the embattled Asante Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Bisiakun, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, who is still in the custody of the Economic and Organized Crime Office because he has failed to meet his bail condition. Well, there's, however, a glimmer of hope for him now because Joe News is learning that the former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has stepped in to secure that second surety for him, and we're told he's heading directly to Yoko office as we speak. And lawyers for Chairman Wontumi has so far been able to secure one of the two sureties for his 50 million cedis bail. Well, today we will be on the ground live to bring you all sides to the story. But first, let's start from the Ashanti region, where the Ashanti regional chapter of the party has been tackling this issue head on, calling out government for their ill treatment of their chairman.
The strike is as odd when after his engagement with the CID at the national headquarters, he was ambushed and taken away by operatives of the Yoko. What kind of investigations Yoko would undertake?
You heard there the party's Ashanti Regional Secretary of the MPP, Kwame Edumapia, and he was addressing a news conference earlier today. We have to cut that in because we have news coming in that indeed Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has arrived at Yoko office. My colleague James Aveji is live on the ground and he will be giving us details as to what exactly is happening. James, take us away.
Had access into the BNI. We're all expecting to hear what becomes of this particular visit. But look, serious heckling just to get access into the NIB. Heckling seriously is what is happening. The tussle is serious. Security officers trying to prevent what's happening there. But let's take you there now for you to feel what's happening. James.
Into the office, you see there's a scuffle between the police officers and the party supporters now. The police officers are trying to prevent the party supporters from access into the NIB headquarters, and they are also pushing very hard. You see that lady that has been tossed away, and the police are trying to secure the entrance of the place. At least 2 or 3 and 4 party police officers are there now. You see there, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman, Divine Agohom, is caught in the middle of all of that. And one member is whisked away. There's a scuffle between some of the supporters. The police are trying to secure them. There is a scuffle here now as we speak. There is no respect for anybody. One person is just tossed away as they are trying to maintain calm at the place. And they are pushed now to the entrance of the main road, or the main entrance of the place. I see the police trying their best to de-escalate the situation and bring back calm to the place as we speak. These youths have, just aroused into chaos after the former Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, was gained access to the place. I'm sure calm is restoring now. The police are trying to engage the youth now to calm them down now. Calm is restoring now. It was a moment of chaos where the Vice President was pushed into the NIB headquarters, and some of the youth also trying to make access to the place. The police fought pretty hard to kick them off the entrance of the place, and they have been pushed out of the place now. And the police have secured the main entrance of the place now, where they have secured the gate against any force of the youth now, and to prevent them from accessing the place. All of this chaos has resulted from the attempt to get Dr. Bawumia into the NIB headquarters. He has just been pushed in there. You saw how Dr. Bawumia was pushed into the place. The youth are still in agitation as we speak, pushing and pulling each other. Even as we speak, they are, leaders are trying to get them to calm down. It is still unclear why they are agitated and why they are pushing and pulling each other. But all of that was resulting from the commotion that came with the entrance of Dr. Bawumia. Was also allowed entry to the place, and two of them are adding up to Osei Chairman Sabontu, as well as other members of the leadership of the public are in now, and the youth are being encouraged to leave the place now, to go back as we speak. And so the police have been able to restore some level of chaos as we speak now. The youth are still standing at the entrance of the place. They are wanting to also get access to the place, but the police will not get any of that. I see at least 3 military officers brought in now. I can count at least 3 of them fully armed, with some in a mask as we speak, to also help to restore peace to the place. And so the military are here together with the police, trying to maintain law and order to the place. Just a minute or two ago, there were no military officers here, but I can count a few of them. I see about 6-7 military officers now, some in mask as we speak, who have come to help the police to maintain law and order here at the entrance of the NIB headquarters as we speak. The youth are come now, and peace is restored, calm is restored. All of the chaos, the pushing and pulling have subsided now. The youth are now calm. And so we will not be waiting for the leadership of the NPP, together with the leadership of the party in Parliament, to come out now as and when they have any information on the status of the Asante Regional Chairman of the party, of the New Patriotic Party, Chairman Wontumi, who this afternoon we've been told has been brought to the clinic here. You see that the national security officials also there now. And so we have 3 separate security officers here now. The Ghana National Police Service are here. The Ghana Police Service are here. The military are also here, as well as the national security operatives are also here. All of them armed to the teeth now, guarding the gate of the National Investigations Bureau, and are trying to maintain order here, law and order here as we speak. And so the national security operatives, as well as the military and the police service, are all here. Calm has been restored now to the place. What we are waiting for now is for the leadership of the party. We know now, we can confirm that the former majority leader, Honorable Osache Mensah Bonsu, is in the police headquarters, the NIB headquarters. The minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, some 10 minutes ago, have also gained access to the place, as well as the former vice president, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, have also just made his way into the place amidst all of the chaos that has been happening here. And so he's also in there, and as well as Nana Kumia is also in there. And so we can say that the leadership, I see the original chairman, just want to, chairman, I go home. He's here. He has been push and pull all of us as we speak. Chairman, just want to have a word with you. Chairman, you have successfully got your former vice president to the place, as well as the minority leader. It must be a hectic one for you.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Well, we understand. That's the job we do. It's a daily work, so we understand that well. Yeah.
At the point I saw you in the push and pull, were you trying to calm your supporters down?
Exactly. We need to find a way of making sure that the police also don't unduly, put pressure on our people, so that they may end up hurting them.
Okay.
As it is now, one of the ladies, you can see, a lady, the police officer was heckling her. And that's what got our security people angry.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
We've behaved very well so far. We've been here for almost 3 hours. No incident. Why now? If you are pushing men, that's okay. But if you are pushing a lady, then you invite trouble. So that's what it is. But thank God we've been able to, come.
But for now, calm has restored now, and your leadership are in there doing the negotiations. So far, between the time we've been here and now, have you got any updates so far?
Well, honestly, we are expecting that they will be able to, bring good news now. But for now, once His Excellency, the former Vice President, is here and he's been allowed in to go and hopefully do the final bit of the negotiation, let's hope that at the end of the day, they will come out and we'll be happy. I mean, we've behaved well, as I said earlier. We've conducted ourselves very well. And we are hoping that there will be no any unpleasant incident so that we all live here. I mean, the police are supposed, to be there to protect us. And we are also, expected to conduct ourselves in a way that will make their work easy.
Exactly.
It's a win-win situation. Once we all understand this, we are good to go. There's no problem at all. Do you understand?
Okay.
Why are we here? We are here because of our colleague, the Asante Regional Chairman. That is all. If what we are asking, that the UCO, the BNI should vary the bill condition a little so that we'll be able to meet it, we take our person out, and then the law, takes its natural course. That's okay. That's all we are asking for.
Okay.
Nothing more.
Thank you so much. And that's Divine Agohome. He is the regional chairman of the NPP in the Greater Accra region. For our audiences on both radio and TV, we can confirm now that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is in there, the minority leader is in there, Nana Kumia is in there, former majority leader, and Osache Mensah Bonsu is also in there, and they are hoping that some consensus will be reached. My colleague Michael Papaniashal is just joining me here. Papa, I'm sure you've been monitoring the things from the office so far, and you are also here so far. Your impressions, and then you take over.
All right, so James, it's been a number of days here with Chairman Wontumi still in the custody of government investigative bodies, and they are looking forward to the bail conditions, he meeting the bail condition, they can leave him. We've had the MPP raise a number of issues here. I've been interrupting some of you. You've done a very yeoman job. You've done a good job here, James Savaji. But I know you'll stick around, you definitely not be going home. But James Savaji, this is our live coverage.
Defense Minister is in here. Honorable Niti Wall is in here. Want to share what with us, Honorable?
Honorable.
Appointed in the style of governance of President Mahama with respect to these particular matters. I'm very disappointed because yesterday I told the former President Nado Kwaku that the powers that they are using to harass people, you had those powers for 8 years. That's not what we saw. Nobody is above the law, and nobody is above the crime, and nobody is above the laws of this country. But there's always a way of going about things. You don't arrest somebody, keep him, and come and say that you have a bail condition of 50 million Ghana. How many people in Ghana are able to raise 50 million Ghana city to bail one? What sort of crime? Somebody's being treated like a common criminal. Can the NDC imagine for a second that when we're in power, we go to Volta region and arrest the Volta regional chairman of the
Honorable, shouldn't we ask him that, is it that nobody in the NPP has 50 million Ghana cedis?
It is not about 50 million Ghana cedi. It is not about somebody having 50 million Ghana cedi. That is not it. I am saying that, can the president look into our face and tell us what would have been the reaction of the NDC if the NPP were to go to Volta region and arrest the regional chairman of the NDC? Our stronghold is the Asante region. Is it out of disrespect to the people in the area or what? Can you imagine what would have happened? We don't want this country to burn. Nobody wants that. But I want to let the president know that he should stop those middle-level people from misbehaving. It's not good. It's setting a precedent that we will not be able to endure as a country as we go forward. Other people have come before him as presidents. I don't think that what he's doing, they did that to anybody. Not even Rawlings. Rawlings moved away from that. The sort of things that we saw happening from his appointments to the way they handle the military people, the way they handle the security people, to what is happening now, is reminiscent of 1981 to 85. Exactly. Those days are past.
Exactly. But Honorable, they made several examples that they feel that in your time, you did same. Honorable Sesu, for instance, was chased, even in church, that policemen were waiting for him outside of the church, waiting to arrest him. He was chased to Parliament, even for traffic regulations.
So was it when we took over that they chased Sesu? You didn't hear that the then IGP arrested MPP members? You didn't hear? Do you want me to start counting? Ministers were arrested. You see the minister gender, the former MP for Wali, she was arrested and charged to court. You see the minister for sports, Mustafa Yusuf was arrested and charged to court. You see Andy Apia Kubi, he was arrested and charged to court. You see Eugene Entry, you can ask him, he was arrested by this. So Stephen Amma was arrested. Are you saying that it was only Sesu was arrested? No. That IGP was doing his own stuff. Everybody had a problem with him, so you cannot say because Sesu was NDC, MP people were equally arrested, okay, by this same IGP in those times. So he, standing here, was also arrested. I'm even talking about current ministers. Did you see what they did to the DC for the MCE for Takrady, or was it Takrady or Shama? Did you see that? So please, don't let us go there. I am saying that what is happening is wrong. It's not good. It's not good for democracy. If you believe Wontumi has committed a crime, charge him to court and let the court decide. You don't do this. You don't put a bail bond of 50 million Ghana cedi and say that come and go and look. And you even say that it must be in Accra. Of course, if Wontumi say he has 100 houses or 50 houses, you don't say it must be in Accra. It's reckless. It's premeditated. They want to punish him. But I can tell you something. If the NDC know the backbone of the people who form MPP, we all know the base of the NDC and we know the base of the MPP. If they know the people who form the base of the MPP, they will know that they cannot break their backs. They should look at the people who form the base of the MPP and they should know that these are people who died to be able to have the sort of country we call Ghana. You can't break the back of the MPP. The sort of people you have in the MPP. Possible. With Asante region leading that charge, they should know the type of people who live there and they should know the type of people. You can't break their backs.
Is the bail bond too much?
It's too much. It's reckless. It's not good. It's punitive.
Is that more than 54 million Ghana cedis?
Where is that charge? Let you go to go and prove it in court. Why? If I ask you, if they were to arrest you today and say a bail bond of 2 million, will you be able to get it? Will you be able to get it? Why? How many people can raise 50 million Ghana cedi bond in Accra and not anywhere? Why? Why would you do that?
Exactly.
Why? Why are you going to do that? It is reckless. It's not good. It's premeditated to ensure that he remains behind. And they are tossing us, he's here, today he's there, tomorrow he's there. I'm just saying that they should not let this country start going around circles.
What is your expectation for coming here?
My expectation is that they should lower the bail bond. The president should intervene and lower the bail and ask them to lower the bail bond. Raymond Acha and Kwa are misbehaving. It's wrong. Raymond Acha and Kwa are misbehaving. It's very wrong. Did you see us locking people? We got the police to act, not the BNI, not the NIB, not Yoko. Do you know the sort of things that we have to ensure that we manage this country? For 8 years, did you hear anything about defense? Did you hear the sort of things? Did you hear soldiers behaving like this? Did you hear police people doing this? Why are you doing that?
I told earlier in the day that the vice president is expected here to basically meet the bill condition. How much do you know about?
I don't know, and I am just here to let the government know that what they are doing is wrong. Let them know that this is not democracy, and let them know that they are persecuting opposition people. It's nothing more, nothing less. Why? You are charging people who you claim that they deceived the public because they said that judges went and met. When somebody decides to say, I'm a medical doctor, and deceiving the entire world, you cannot charge such a person. When Adongo comes out to deceive the whole world about you being able to withdraw the dog, you cannot. Look at people who caused mayhem. I'll give an example. Look at what is happening at Sagome. Listen,
So you just had the former defense minister Nitu there. Who's here to add his voice to the numerous calls over the last 4 days for the release of Chairman Wontumi, who is currently at the NIB. He is in the custody of the Yoko for some charges that yesterday the Deputy Attorney General elaborated the charges that have been slapped with him here. But there is some action here throughout the entire day. Just a few minutes ago, some woman we allegedly was manhandled by the Ghana Police Service, and she's here with me, and she will narrate to me exactly how all of this went down. Please, what's your name?
My name is Haji Arumu, former WAP parliamentary candidate, WAP Central parliamentary candidate. Yes.
Interesting. So, walk us through what exactly happened this evening.
We were all here with the policemen peacefully. Nobody was making any issue. We weren't having any problems with anyone. The vice president came in. He was trying to get inside. They were blocking him. Some of us were standing aside.
You had the live interactions with my colleague Michael Ashali, and individuals just lined up outside the NIB headquarters. We're told that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has officially arrived at the NIB headquarters, and we are following that closely. We've just been hearing from Dominic Intiwo, the former Interior Minister, just tabling some of their key concerns. They see the arrest of Wontumi as disrespectful, reckless, and premeditated. Well, I have with me Dennis Miracles Abwaji, his aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and he's joining me live here on Top Story. Dennis, I just want to get an understanding. Why exactly is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at the NIB headquarters this evening?
I mean, of course, it's quite clear that Chairman Wontumi has been held by the security operatives for far too long, beyond the usual. And so, obviously, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as a former vice president and a key leader of our party, is worried. And so fundamentally, he wants to see exactly what is happening to him, how he is doing, and what the issues are. He's been working in the past 2 or 3 days to find ways and means to get the security service to at least grant Chairman Wontumi the bill, which is as a matter of right, so that all other processes can continue. And so he was this morning in Myeong to support the family of the chief that passed. And so this afternoon, he decided to come back quickly and go and check up on Chairman Wontumi. Clearly, everybody is worried. Clearly, what is happening is quite unusual. And so you would be worried if you have a citizen of this country being held beyond their stipulated 48 hours. And as a leader, he wants to find out exactly what's happening.
Is he stepping in as the second surety that they need to secure Wontumi's release?
I mean, whatever needs to be done to get him, Chairman Wontumi, the bill, that's what the vice president is working on. Whatever that needs to be done to get him the needed bill. But the concerns that have been raised by thousands of people across the country cannot be lost on us. How do you for whatever reason, place a bail bond of 50 million on Chairman Wontumi, what is the essence of a bail? And what is the essence of this bond? These bail bonds are simply to say that you are living, we will be looking for you, and we expect that whenever we need you, you would come. And so, for the purposes of ensuring that you get back, provide these things. For individuals who anybody or everybody can find, and are not likely to evade or elope, why do you place such huge bail bonds on their heads? So clearly, the 50 million bail bond is a punitive measure. It is part of the strategies to continue persecuting the man and punishing him. And it's something that we should all be worried about. Because if we allow this to go as it is, that as we speak now, a citizen of this country has been held beyond 48 hours. Contrary to what our law said, he has not been charged, he has not been arraigned before court. If we allow this to pass, it is happening to Chairman Wontumi, it would happen to you, it would happen to me, it becomes a precedent, and then it becomes a danger to our democracy. The most absurd part is even when you say that the 50 million that you are asking for should only be assets within Accra. I mean, are our laws applicable only to Accra? Why are assets outside Accra not admissible? These are questions that we should be asking. It's okay if in the past 2-3 days the media hasn't highlighted so much this, but it is time. It is time for the media to at least help in asking some of these questions. Forget the fact that it is Chairman Wontumi. Be concerned about the fact that our democracy, the right of a citizen, and our laws are being flouted upon. Those are the things we should be very much concerned about.
But prior to Dr. Bawumia stepping in, there were other big stalwarts of the party. The likes of the former majority leader was there, Chairman Sabonsu, the general secretary of the party, all trying to secure that bill for Chairman Wontumi. They failed. What exactly would Dr. Bawumia be doing differently?
That's a conversation that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be having with authorities as his other actors now at the Yoko and BNI. So that's conversation I'll leave it to him. But the key thing here is that we're asking that the Yoko should be reasonable. They should be a bit sensible when it comes to this bill bond that they are placing on Chairman Wontumi. I mean, the bill bond is placed on him completely. No aspect of it makes sense. And so they need to deal with that aspect. They need to work on that aspect. Today is Friday. You've held the man since when? Wednesday, Tuesday? Today is Friday. What's your plan? Are you planning on keeping him throughout the weekend? Do you know what that means? And do you know the effect, the implication of that on our democracy or the rights of our citizens moving forward? That there is a precedence that a citizen was held beyond the stipulated 48 hours without being arraigned before court. If you knew, or for whatever reason, if you felt that, 50 million bond, Chairman Wontumi has not been able to make it. It is 11 a.m. on a Friday. It's beyond 48 hours. You take him to court and let the court decide whether they want to continue to keep him or they want to vary it. You have charged him. You have sent him to court. Today is Friday. And your intention is to keep him till Monday.
But then if the party has concerns about how he has been treated and some of the key conditions that the government is setting for his bail, why don't you go to court? I know that there are lots of legal stalwarts in the party. Why not go to court to challenge the bail conditions? That way you can be actively looking at dealing with the issue.
Do not place this burden on the person you have arrested. The law didn't place that burden on us. The law didn't place that burden on Chairman Wontumi. The law placed the burden of arraigning the suspect before court within 48 hours by the authority. That is you. You have the burden, not the one you have arrested. So take him to court, charge him, and then let the court decide. If the court decides that he should be remanded, nobody will be at the NIB headquarters by now, because that will be a decision of the court. But you have blatantly decided to keep a citizen of this country beyond 48 hours, and you are planning to keep him for close to 5 days. If you decide to keep him all over the weekend, this is risky. All of us are under threat if we allow this to pass. And that is what I think we need to, how he is being treated, the conditions, that does not matter. The law doesn't say that give him royalty treatment and keep him for 21 days. The law doesn't say that treat him like an Arabian king and you can keep him for 5 days. The law says arraign him before court within 48 hours or let him go, give him a bail. And when you are giving him the bail, do not make it punitive. Let it make sense. At the moment, it doesn't make sense, and we should be concerned about it. If we allow this to pass, trust me, what it means is that tomorrow, even a small police station somewhere in Bole Bamboy can decide to do the same, and they can use this as a precedent. We need to deal with this, and we shouldn't let this pass.
Dennis Miracles Abuaji's aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and we're told he's currently at the NIB headquarters trying to secure that much-needed bail for Chairman Wontumi. Earlier, we saw chaotic scenes there. Officially, we're hearing from the Economic and Organized Crime Office, and they are for the first time defending the handling of the Asante Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Inchibusiaku. Let me bring in my colleague now who has been engaging directly the Ashanti Regional Director of Yoko, Edward Kujo. Tell me more about what exactly he's been saying, Anna.
So, Steve, we've been interacting with the Ashanti Regional Director of Yoko, and he says with the way the Yoko is tackling the issue, it's in right order within the legal framework of the institution. And you know already the NPP has raised concerns about the handling of this particular issue, some of them describing it as oppressive. But according to the Yoko, it says that what they've done so far is within their legal mandate to do so. And given the weight of the matter, that's the enormity of the matter, with a 15 million CD surety or bail conditions set for Mr. Wontumi, they are saying that given the enormity of this particular issue they are handling, it's also in the right order. So we can take a listen to Edward Kuzo, who is the Ashanti Regional Director of IOCO.
From the supporters or those who are purporting to act in his interest. I think that the institution has followed laid down processes. If you hear from the commentary, his legal representatives are telling you that due process has been followed. It's only those who are on the other side who don't know what really is happening who are making noise. I think that issues of human rights, we've grown as an institution, and human rights are an issue that we want to always respect. And so we afford them the opportunities that the law avails them, and we hope that they take advantage of that. He's been granted bail, I think, and then we're hoping that he can meet the terms of the bail and then secure his freedom. Oh, you should. I think that there are weightier matters we are dealing with, okay? And bail is not just assessed just because somebody feels like it. It depends on the issues they are dealing with, then they assess the terms of the bail. In any case, if they feel that the bail is excessive, the courts are open to them for them to go for a variation of the bail terms. So they can always apply to the courts if they feel that the bail conditions. I feel that the law is there for everyone. The courts are available to anybody. If you feel that it's excessive, you can always go to the courts and see what the courts would have to say based on the facts that we presented to the courts.
Well, you just heard the Ashanti Regional Director for Yoko as we're just getting details as to their concerns and their defense for the handling of Chairman Wontumi. I will be taking you back live to the NIB headquarters, and my colleague James Aveji and Michael Ashali all on the ground interacting with key members of the NPP. If you're watching on Joy News TV, you can see his interaction currently with the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Mustafa Gbande, of the NPP, I beg your pardon, Haruna Mohammed. He's also we're also having a live interaction with Justin Frimpong Kodia on the grounds right now, and let's go live there as we listen to some of the key concerns they're raising.
And certain allegations have been leveled against them, who have been given a very favorable and reasonable bail condition. As it stands now, all that the party is doing is to let the world know about what is happening in Ghana, about what is happening to our regional chairman, the Asante regional chairman of our party. We have every right to demonstrate our displeasure about what is happening. And we have that constitutional right to do so. We can have as we said, the court option, but nothing also stops us from going there to make sure that we solidarize with our regional chairman. And two, he further made the point that this is all aspects of Plan B that the party has harbored, which I find it very dumbfounding, which I find it very strange that a founding member of our party, you can make such a trivialized accusation against your party. Since when did the party have such a Plan B plan? I can tell you that there's nothing like a Plan B plan for our party. We have not harbored any intention of having any Plan B plan that in case we lose, this is what we are going to do. As a party, we are demonstrating our displeasure about the arrest and continued detention of our regional chairman. And that is it. We have nothing or having anything more aside what we are registering our displeasure about. So it's very unfortunate for him to make such a statement. And let me make this point.
Okay.
There are certain times that as human beings, you get to a certain age, you become more like a fatherly figure. You can become more like a statesman. And as a founding member of our party, we are expecting him to be part of the National Council of Elders, who will be providing advice to our party rank and file, and even national officers. And that is not this behavior. He's not only person who is a founding member of our party. We have several founding members of our party. Have you heard any of those going on radio stations denigrating the party? And he's saying abusive words against the party. That is not a hallmark of a founding member. That is not a hallmark of an early member of our party. So please, as a political party, we disassociate ourselves with a statement by Dr. Nyao Tamakulu. And this is something I'm going to pursue at our next National Council meeting. If it involves stripping me off of that founding member status, because as a party, we don't need this kind of behavior at this material moment. We need people who give us positive vibes. We need people who support the party in our reorganization. No people who become destructive figures in our party. And that will be the position of the new patriotic party.
But won't you also take him as a father figure, as you say, who is worried about his children straying and want to find out how he can rein them in to be on the line they have to be?
A fatherly figure does not go out to watch the dirty linen of his house outside. A fatherly figure stays in the house, calls his children, sit down with them, and address issues internally. But with what he's doing, I can tell you he has an agenda. With what he's doing, all the intention, everything suggests that he's bent on running the party down. How can you make the statement that the party does not have leadership? The party has leadership. That's why our supporters are at NIB. And we fully support our minority members of parliament. We fully support our party members who are at NIB. And that is our position. And as a father, if you have any concern, there are rightful channels within the party that he can pursue, but not on radio stations. What does he seek to achieve? To run down the party? And this is kind of behavior that you think as a party we are going to countenance or support. We will certainly not do so. If he has something meaningful to advise the party, he should find the right channel as a founding member of the party, but not on radio stations. If you listen to his commentary, after running down the party, he went ahead and said that President Mahama is a gentleman and started praising President Mahama. Really? Is that the behavior of a founding member of our party? You denigrate your party, you run down your party, but you choose to be praising your opponent. What is he seeking to achieve? This is something that we need to find out. Is it on an agenda? Is it on a mission? It's something that you should come out and tell us. And this is not a behavior that we expect from a founding member of our party.
Well, he's not alone. Yesterday on our network, Professor Richard Amakuba was also on the same tangent. That
well, I know Professor Richard Amakuba is no more a member of our party.
Okay, all right. But he asked one question, that where is the chairman? You're the general secretary, can you help us?
Well, our chairman is there. He's around. He's active. He has been taking part to our meetings. He has been chairing our meetings.
Okay, and he's aware of what's happening. He approves of it.
Certainly, and he fully supports what is happening. The party endorses whatever is happening at NIB, the activities of our minority caucus. We fully support it. We are fully behind them.
And this is still top story. We're expecting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to emerge shortly. You just had a live interaction from our TV channel, Joy News. My colleague Kojo Brace interacting with Justin Frimpong Kodia, the General Secretary of the NPP, just tabling the major concerns. While the opposition party, they are fighting this on all fronts, and they've taken this, escalated this to the international community. They want them to intervene. And we just have joined me now Nana Asafweje. He is MP for Busumi Freho, and he is ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee in Parliament. I'm just going through this petition that you have tabled before the international community, and one of the key concerns you raise, especially in your fourth paragraph, is that you are highlighting the fact that this administration is persecuting your members. Why exactly?
Okay, so thank you very much. Let me quickly correct something. I am not the ranking member. The ranking member is Honorable Samuel Abu Jinapo. I am the deputy ranking, just to put that on record. Now, so the coalition of political parties in Ghana today, petitioned the Dean of Ambassadors, that's the Lebanese ambassador to Ghana, made a solid presentation to him. Took our time to take him or walk him through the issues that are happening. From the issue with the Chief Justice and the issue with the rampant arrest and breaking into houses and all that, to just inform the diplomatic community, just to let them know how things are erupting quite recently on a country that largely is a peaceful country that we have always...
Nana, stay with me at this point. I have to cut you because I'm taking you live now to the NIB headquarters. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, we can see in our shorts, if you're watching on TV, has just exited the NIB headquarters. We can see the minority leader, Alexander Feyomark, in there as well. Let's cross over live.
See how he was doing. We've made those arrangements. Unfortunately, we are here that the NIB and feel that the crowd is such that they are not able to bring him here at the moment, and they will have to make proper arrangements to bring him so that we can see him. And we are going to continue making those arrangements. We are very, very disappointed in our inability to see him because we had made prior arrangements, and so we've expressed our disappointment, and we want to continue and to make sure that we can see him. I must put on record that the bail conditions that have been set for Chairman Wontumi's bail, 50 million Ghana cedis, is very onerous. I don't know how many people in Ghana can have property with 50 million Ghana cedis. And I believe that this was just set to prevent his timely release. We are going to follow the due process, the legal process, to make sure that he's released as soon as possible. I want to plead with all of you to remain calm as we work behind the scenes to make sure that he is out. I believe that we will be successful, but we have to be calm and not take the law into our own hands. I think it's very important that we follow due process and make sure that Chairman Wontumi is released safe and sound. Thank you very much for your attention.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia there just revealing to us that unfortunately that meeting with the EOCO and NIB officials did not come on as planned. He goes on to state that the bail conditions are outrageous. He's pleading with party foot soldiers to remain calm and stay with us because we're live on the ground. My colleague Michael Ashali is still trying to interact with other members of the party. Let's take you there live.
Securing bail for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. They're pushing everybody. But I tried to get word from Dr. Bawumia and he says that he's not going to speak again. But Alexander Fenyo-Markin, minority leader, is also with him. And we'll try to get closer to him and see if what exactly the content of that conversation inside the NIB office went. We'll try to get closer to.
Well, my colleague Michael Ashali there trying to interact with other party bigwigs there at the NIB headquarters. Asante, this is happening live as we speak. Quite dramatic scenes we've seen today. First chaotic, the military had to come in to restore calm. We're told that Dr. Bawumia could not meet with the EOCO officials as planned today. Chairman Wontumi's fate still uncertain as we speak. Your thoughts?
Well, he says they have not been able to actually see Chairman Wontumi, although that is the big expectation going into that meeting that they'll be able to see him. He says that despite having made arrangement earlier that in coming there, they will be able to see him, they have not been able to. So let's go back to NIB where the minority leader is speaking.
We'll keep to it, and I'm sure some... I don't know, but I find it very worrying that a country, Ghana, inquiry bail, or someone would demand 50 million cedis worth of properties before the person is granted inquiry bail. I'm telling my friends in NDC one more time, they should check some of these things because posterity is watching them. Thank you very much.
I mean, were you able to see him at least? Were you able to see Wontumi at least? Did they allow you to see him?
Not at all. Like I said, he's nowhere to be found. They claim they couldn't bring him. They claim they couldn't bring him here, and he's still in the custody of NIB at their Kwaku office, where they claim until EOCO authorizes, we cannot even see him. But you and I know that they are using the bail to punish him. And like I said, posterity is watching.
They will not even accept Bawumia's plea?
Well, we're all in there together as a leadership of the party.
Okay.
And we didn't just come here. We had a certain understanding that we'll be here and at least see him. But you see, they are showing their wits. They are showing to me where the power lies. They are showing power. So let them continue to show power. I will repeat it. Posterity is watching.
Yeah, they say you did the same thing to them in the last 8 years.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I'll answer you. Okay. Excuse me.
I'm listening to you.
You mean who said that?
Xavier too said he was pursued.
So hold on. I would answer you.
Okay.
If the Fiamakpo, as you are saying, is justifying this conduct, if Francis Xavier, you say Xavier, also said somebody did that to him. So are they justifying? I want to know from you before I answer. Are they justifying the actions of EOCO? Is that what you are saying?
They're not justifying. They're just making examples that it was done to them.
Hold on.
It's been done to you.
Hold on. Are they justifying the actions of EOCO? Is the Fiamakpo justifying the actions of EOCO? I want it to be on record before I answer. Is he saying so?
Oh no, but I don't have them yet to say exactly what they mean. But these are comments they have said. These are comments that they have passed. Okay.
You are an experienced journalist.
Okay.
If you are not ready to quote, don't put to me a thing that you are not sure of. Right. Don't let me say something. They are my respected colleagues. Okay. If they have said something and you have it on record, put Repeat it to me and let me respond to it.
Oh, no, but you can respond to the Speaker of Parliament. Yesterday he said go to court. Are you now going to go to court?
Excuse me.
They have packed their court.
We are talking about democracy. And it's not about court. It's also about common sense. And somebody being reasonable and thinking about tomorrow. I've said that posterity is watching. If something happened yesterday and it was wrong, if it happens today, it is wrong. It happens tomorrow, it remains wrong. At a point, as a political class, let us put an end to that era of you do me, I do you, if that is the case. And I'm saying that a man reported himself to the CID headquarters when the CID invited him. He was there on Monday. On Tuesday, he was there. Just as he was exiting, Iyoko pickups accosted him, pushed him into their car, and take him into custody. You've interrogated him. His lawyers are there. The man, in spite of that inhumane way of dealing with him, he didn't complain. You know he's unwell. That is why you sent him to the clinic of NIB. Then you set out an onerous bail term, knowing that it's going to be difficult to meet. Then you say go to court. My brother, posterity is watching.
Next action.
So you hear the minority leader Alexander Afenyomakin speaking to journalists right after that meeting, together with the former Vice President Dr. Bawumia at the NIB headquarters at Kwaku. They have not been able to see Chairman Wontumi Fostina, and so they've left after coming on to plan and see if they could negotiate and try and whittle this bill condition down. They've not been able to do so for Sina, and they're leaving really empty-handed.
Empty-handed indeed. And it's been 4 days. Will he spend the weekend still in their custody? Since we've been hearing from the lawyers, and they say that they haven't been able to satisfy the bill conditions. That's a concern we'll be raising and having further conversations in later in our shows on TV, radio, online, and on the ground. We're there. My name is Fostina, Sarfo, and Kwaku. At this point, I'm handing over the baton to you. As we just heard from the minority leader, he says posterity is watching.
Right. This is Ghana Connect, and tonight on Ghana Connect, we are, broadening this conversation, because you heard there Alexander Afenyomakin talking about what was done yesterday, and if it was wrong, you don't do it now. The big conversation is, when will the political class, the so-called political class, learn and stop repeating these same, what some will call theatrics, every 4 years, every 8 years, arrest the other person and keep them behind bars, put up very onerous bail conditions, and it's past 6 p.m. now, and if anything we know is to go by, Chairman Wontumi perhaps will spend the weekend in Yoko and NIB custody up until Monday, when the party will resume trying to get those bail conditions met. Tonight on Ghana Connect, it's a big conversation about when exactly the political class will get to do something about using state security the way they do for their parochial end.
Ghana for Musorio, and the Fostina Musorio, and the Munti, and the Mahama MC.
Bail must not be used as a punishment. Mr. Speaker, there are two key conditions in my few years of practice in that area of the law, criminal law. The man must have a fixed place of abode and must assure that he will make himself available. I must argue one more time that Iyoko cannot arrogate the power of demanding justification at the inquiry level.
If a security agency poses a bail condition that you feel that the bail condition is harsh, I do not think Parliament will have the authority to call for a review. If a person is detained beyond the stipulated constitutional period, what you should do is very clear.
Those in charge must be professional. What is happening to Wontumi can happen to me today, tomorrow. It can happen to my respected senior here, tomorrow. My mother here. Enough is enough. We are not just going to walk away. We are not just going to walk away. We'll be here. We'll be here.
We have asked of his whereabouts and they are unable to confirm. We've asked of the director. We have been told that the Director General is not here. That is the Mondacha. His deputies are not here. Look, we demand that there should be fairness in all of this.
My name is Kwaku Asante, and this conversation is around so-called arrests by security agencies, particularly the so-called Rambo-style arrest and the public reaction they provoke, which has once again taken center stage in our political landscape. After Reverend Ntim Fojo, that MPP MP's attempted arrest by the national security of allegations of cocaine trafficking, this time at the center of this controversy is NPP's Asante Regional Chairman Bernard Ntwibo-Siakon, also known as Chairman Wontumi. He's been in custody for the last 4 days. Why do some of these arrests by security agencies resemble all these high-stakes movie scenes with heavily armed police officers, the public spectacle, protest that comes with it, and are security agencies being used selectively or even politically to embarrass or silence particular individuals depending on who is in office? And also, there are a couple of things we've seen around this. Yesterday, the minority did hold a mini protest of a sort, or a full-blown protest right in front of Yoko, taking over the road. In fact, one part of the road was entirely blocked. And there are those who've said that that is a special event which should have come under the Public Order Act for some permission and other things to be given or arrangement for the police. Will ordinary civilians be allowed to do that? And so if someone was arrested from, say, Commonwealth and Commonwealth boys, they converge at Yoko in that kind of scale. Would that have been allowed? And so far we have on the Zoom connecting with us Ernesto Yeboah. He is a serial protester, and so this conversation is somebody that you can get a lot from. And then Adib Sani, security analyst. I also have Comfort Echama, is a law student, and then we'll get a couple more people to join us. And there's still a rolling coverage, and as and when something is happening at the NIB headquarters, you'll be the first to know. Let me start from you, Ernesto Yeboah. What do you make of all that has been happening this last few days? Hello, Ernesto Yeboah.
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to all of you. Please, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Nice. So good evening to you and to your wonderful listeners out there. Well, I have some bit of mixed feelings here, and it derives from the part of me, the activist, that understands that protests are inalienable human rights. We are born with it. And so the limitations that the 1992 Constitution, for instance, imposes, be it that one ought to obtain a notification to the police at least 5 clear days in line with the Public Order Act and all of that, for me appears a bit constraining. Nonetheless, I mean, as about to be former Chief Justice, I mean, once said, the law is the law. And so one would expect that those who legislate our laws, those who are tasked to think through and to from time to time produce legislations, would be the first people to abide by it. But that flagrant violation coming from their side is completely unacceptable. But I also find it interesting that the state, and in this instance the police, did not see why they ought to be arrested for violating the Public Order Act. I mean, once upon a time, just a few months down the line, the same police held us in court for well over close to a year, telling us that we were in violation of the Public Order Act, even though we had duly notified the police and all of that. So these disparities will show that there is a law for ordinary Ghanaians separate from the law for the political elite, and that for me squeezes some bitterness in the system and demonstrates that there is indeed inequality in our society. The minority have also misbehaved in the manner that even when they were allowed to protest or exert themselves in the way that they did, they deteriorated to such sad, unpardonable levels. Look, some of them are lawyers by profession. What does the GBA Code of Ethics say? I mean, for lawyers, that, I mean, lawyers should not engage in behavior unbecoming of the profession or unbecoming of lawyers. We saw them sitting on the floor. I mean, and these are people who make laws for us.
But
They
isn't
understand
that,
the law
isn't that
more
really looking at form over substance? These are guys who have gone there to press home what they say is a constitutional demand. Whether they sat down to dirty their trousers, I mean, that is really trivial. Isn't the most important thing the fact that they are accusing a state agency of abusing the rights of a political leader, arresting him, keeping him in custody for nearly 4 days, and demanding a bail condition as onerous and, in their word, as unreasonable as 50 million Ghana cedis, with 2 sureties to be justified, which have not been met 4 days on.
Look, and the brightest idea that could occur to them is to behave in that infantile, manner, in total embarrassment. What happened yesterday is a complete embarrassment to the entire country. That if this is the level of thinking of your leaders should be the representation of sometimes your sharpest and your brightest. And so these are sharpest and brightest. And this is what they choose to do under these circumstances, when there are many avenues that they could actually exert themselves and ensure that their partner in crime, is left off the hook or is dealt with, one way or the other according to the law. So the way they behaved showed a certain deterioration in our politics. Can you imagine? This is MPP of the traditions of Dankwa, Buzia, Dombo. Can you imagine JB Dankwa, in the flight or in the heat of things? The original chairman has been arrested on money laundering and other charges like that. And the brightest thing that comes to him is to sit on the floor and put their hands in their head and such a look. I don't know why the constituents, where these MPs, come from, have not raised their voice, have not, sought to recall them back because they should lose their seats.
It's very interesting the point you make, and of course, points about recall and all that. These are issues that barely happen in a country. Ernesto, please hold it there for me. Comfort the chairman is on with us, Adib. And let me come to you, Adib. Do you sense that the issues have been conflated? Because I like the point Ernesto Yeboah just makes, that Chairman Wontumi is currently in detention because the security agencies say they are investigating him for some pretty serious alleged offenses. And let me read what the Deputy Attorney General, who has been at the thick of affairs, has been writing about it. It says, suspect Bernard Entribo Siako, aka Chairman Wontumi, is under investigation for various criminal offenses, including fraud, causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering. The criminal investigation is running concurrently with asset recovery process to prevent further dissipation of what law enforcement agencies strongly suspect to be proceeds of crime. The suspect is also under a second strand of investigation, which is part of a larger international organized crime scheme. The Economic and Organized Crime Office is assiduously working with international law enforcement partners on this second strand of criminal investigation. So, on the face of it, these are pretty serious charges that the state is investigating with regards to Chairman Wontumi. And perhaps the state should better learn to tell its story on that matter. But this whole spectacle has been taken over by the bail condition imposed by Yoko. Where do you stand on that, and how does that shift public perception in favor of or against one of the parties on this, given where you stand as a security analyst?
Well, thank you so much. A very good evening to you. Good evening to Comfort. Good evening to Ernesto. He's my mate back at Legon. We are both products of Father Bacchus.
V-mates.
Absolutely. You see, on the merits of what is going on, it is very obvious, it's incontrovertible that this is a pure, unbridled case of criminality. Unfortunately, the politics with it is shrouding people's independent opinion about what is going on. When we were in school, as children, we've consistently been told everybody is equal before the law. Practically speaking, can anybody look at Ghanaians in the face and tell them, truly, yes, everybody is equal before the law? They have a case against the gentleman, okay? And by the way, I'm not a lawyer, but I do know that anybody can be arrested at any time, anywhere, okay? It doesn't matter whether you are in your office, you are at home, you are in traffic, depending on the nature of the case. Sometimes it is so urgent they need to bring you in immediately. Sometimes they don't want to give you the opportunity to be able to witness tamper or evidence tamper. It's a combination of a lot, okay? However, in my opinion, if the case doesn't warrant that you bring in the person immediately because the next minute you allow to go with compromise the case, I think it is better we do it in a much more quieter manner. Otherwise, it shrouds the merit of the case, and the politics of it mixes up, and it convolutes it, and in the end, Ghanaians might not have a full understanding of what really it is. But in summary, what I'm saying is, this is a pure case of criminality. If he feels he is wrongly accused, what I expect them to do is to tussle it out in a court. All right? But the actions of the minority in Parliament, I think is unhelpful. It doesn't help social cohesion in Ghana. I remember some time ago when the coups were happening, We did a little research. Why Ghana? Why we show Ghana there's no way a coup can happen? Multi-party democracy, young people don't look beyond NDC, NPP, the fact that there's some level of social cohesiveness, a sense of patriotism, etc. But Ghana is very politically polarized. And that is what is culminating into what we are seeing. Okay? It's not the first time such bill conditions have been, stopped. Okay? I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't know what goes into it. What would make a bill condition so high? I wouldn't be able to tell. But what I expect the minority to do is to approach it in a much more civil manner, because basically what they are trying to say is, no, Wontumi is above the law. Nobody can arrest Wontumi. Wontumi is beyond reproach. What they are doing physically points to that fact. Okay, so I think that they should handle it in a much more civil manner. Taking to the streets, blocking traffic, sitting, passing comments. Oh, it's your time today. It will be our time tomorrow. No, it amounts to threats. It doesn't help our democracy. Okay, and so I would wish that we see this as a criminal matter that is being investigated, that would allow the various parties to have their day in court.
To have their day in court, and you asked the question about whether or not this is the highest bill conditions we've seen in recent times. Just at the end of March, the same Yoko did impose a bill of 120 million Ghana cedis with two sureties to be justified on the former Signal Bureau boss, Kwabena Duboahin. And of course, he did apply to the High Court. The High Court reduced that to 80 million cedis with two sureties, one to be justified. So in the last few weeks, in the last few months, we've had something of that sort. And Kwabena Duboahin managed to get 80 million with two sureties, one to be justified, got it, and then he got out of custody. He's currently going to court for that criminal process from the comfort of his home. Let me bring in Comfort, and then I'll bring back Ernesto and then Adib. Comfort, you're a student of the law, and one of the things you do learn in the law is that bail is a right. Of course, subject to certain lawful conditions. The minority have made the point that 50 million cedi with a surety to be justified, with two sureties to be justified, simply unreasonable. I wonder where you stand, also giving the offenses for which the state is investigating him for that I just read out.
Hi, Kwaku. Thank you so much for the opportunity once again. Okay, so as you have rightly stated, please, can I be heard?
Yes, you can be heard.
Okay. As you have rightly stated, bail is a right. But then, of course, it depends on the intensity or the degree of the offenses with which you have been charged with. That will sometimes determine the amount of bail that will be set. And then if we follow Wontumi track record, he has the track record of flaunting his wealth on social media. And he has a TV station where there was a particular day where he brought gold bars to the station. And then there was this other day that he said he's the mayor of Asante region. He even said he was going to buy Chelsea. So this is a person, a self-acclaimed millionaire, so to say. So if now we are asking you to provide properties worth 50 million Ghana cedis, and then your people are saying that it is unreasonable, then but that aside, I think the issue that we have been grappling with as a nation, as a country, is our ability to distinguish between what is truly good for the nation vis-a-vis what really benefits a political party. Because I, for one, was not happy about what happened yesterday, to see honorable members of parliament sitting on the floor just because a party chairman has been and has been incarcerated, and then the investigation was not the right as Abid San, that was not the role Iyoko carried out and the CID carried out the arrest and everything. But then I feel like these are lawyers. They have gone through law school for 6 years. And I mean now formalized avenues of seeking redress if you feel that your rights have been violated or infringed upon. And then when we come to Article 14 plus 3 of the 1992 Constitution, the law tells us that where a person has been arrested, restricted, or detained, then the arresting authority must produce that person before a court of law within 48 hours. And sources are saying that Chairman Wontumi has been kept detained at the headquarters for more than 48 hours now. So that aspect of it, I will put everything aside and then say that that is against the law. That is.
But Comfort, isn't the position of the law that you present the accused person to before court within 48 hours, or you release them unconditionally or with conditions? Because what Yoko has done now is they stay within the 48-hour limit and they've put conditions on its release, which is the 50 million CD we are talking about.
Exactly, and that is where all the agitations and the demonstrations, the protests are coming from, that the 50 million Ghana cedis is quite a lot, a huge sum of money that they will not be able to produce at the moment. So that's why I'm saying that these lawyers and other members of parliament, the minority, they can actually write a petition, for the Yoko to vary the terms of the bill. It can be done, right? Just like you alluded to with Aduban. Exactly. It can be done. Kind of going the way, walking, going all the way to go and sit on the floor, removing their shoes. Where have we gotten to? I feel like we are at a point where the honorable members of parliament or the politicians will do anything at all.
Right. We have just also been joined by Dennis Apialabi, former NUS president, also speaks sometimes for the New Patriotic Party. I'll get to him pretty shortly. But there's a point I want to ask you, Ernesto Yeboah. There is this phenomenon, and it's decades old, where it appears politicians commit no crime. So that even if a politician was seen on camera belonging to the NPP or NDC, depending on who is in government, slashing the throat of someone and he was picked up by the police, party supporters and party officials will still mass up, demand their unconditional release or whatever the demand will be. Do you think it's a trajectory that must be checked so that when lawful state agencies are doing their work and, of course, subject to condemning whatever excesses that they may be, where we see political party supporters massing up at Yoko, NIB, wherever the investigative body may be, police headquarters, and then demanding the release of those persons, irrespective of what the person is being investigated for. That send a message as though that person is above the law, political party and their activists can do no wrong.
Well, you've nailed it, in your question. And the point for me is that a sheep mentality subculture has deliberately been encouraged over the years. And so if you belong to these duopoly parties and you show yourself to be more critical and be asking serious questions, the whole fold is more or less mobilized against you. And so for one's safety in the party, you would have to follow the ways or the popular opinions of the party. And it doesn't matter even if it goes against common sense. And so you would find more often sometimes people you have some modicum of respect for. And yet when it comes to certain issues, the way they behave shows, a different side of them. That, okay, I didn't know this person could sink so low. And that's where we are. And that's what we saw with members of parliament sinking so low. it's the height of, unintelligence for the leadership of the country to be seen and to behave in they have done. But there is a lack of courage that exists to confront that or to say it as it is and to make them understand that, hey, you went overboard. Because look, IOCO is a law enforcement agency. I, Ernesto Yabua, if you hear that the state is investigating me on such charges as Wontumi, money laundering, things that has, cross-national, these are cross-national crimes we are talking about, and stealing and all of that. Nobody should come to my defense. Nobody should come to my aid on that. Let us take the lawful, course and ensure that we exhaust the processes in that regard. And why? Proud to Wontumi's arrest. Your own journalist, Erasmus Asare, did a number of stories mentioning Wontumi's, company, Akonta Mining, in how that company has single-handedly destroyed our water bodies and forest reserves without regard to, due process and the laws of this country and even his own conscience. And so when you hear the MPP today, and this is an advice to them, the public sentiment or the public sympathy is not with the MPP. Because just a few months ago, we saw how they behaved. And so it's annoying when you hear the MPP use words like conscience, when they use words like fairness, when they use phrases like posterity will judge. It makes mockery of words and their usage and their real meaning and all of that. And so maybe the earlier I listened to their general secretary saying that they have leadership in their party. Unfortunately, for us who are sitting out and observing, we don't see leadership. We see chaos. We see mediocrity. We see lawlessness. We see a body of people who have lost their sensitivity to public opinion and public sentiments and all of that.
Ernesto, please hold it there for me. And let me bring in Dennis Apialabi. Dennis, how do you respond to this criticism of your party by Ernesto Yeboah? Especially when it has been laid out here over and again, especially since Tuesday when Chairman Wontumi was arrested. I think the next day the bail conditions became public and we've seen what we've seen. If the bail condition is excessive and unreasonable, anyone can apply to the High Court and have it revised. As close as March this year, Kwabena Dubois, a member of, I wouldn't go there, but Kwabena Dubois got his bail conditions reduced by nearly 40 million Ghana cedis. The sureties dropped from 2 to 1. And so they can do that, or this is the MPP trying to use this as a ploy to galvanize its base and bringing up this criticism that Ernesto Yeboah has just laid out. Hello, Dennis. Hello, Dennis.
These are me.
Hello, Dennis. Well, it appears I don't have Dennis, and so you let me give that to Adib Sani and see what Adib Sani thinks about whether or not this is all a ploy to galvanize the base or anything of the sort, and why the MPP won't take the legal course and go to the High Court.
All right, so I can say with certainty that the arrest of Chairman Wontumi is popular with the bulk of Ghanaians. I haven't seen a large section of the population come out to say, hey, this is unfair. You guys have to let him go. This is constricted to a few people. And I am absolutely gobsmacked when I hear MPP talk about posterity. MPP has no moral right to talk about prosperity for crying out loud. Galamsey has caused us a lot of harm. People have no idea the health implications of Galamsey, especially in mining sites where people, babies are born with 3 eyes, they are born with 3 arms, all manner of despicable things happening. Okay, and I've always indicated that, look, if anyone is caught engaging in Galamsey, it is a treasonable act, and that person should be judged as if he committed treason against Ghana. Because there's no way you would love Ghana and engage in Galamsey. And I'm also very shocked at what a lot of these minority MPs are doing, calling out Raymond Archer. And you see, when you do that, it's very dangerous because you are exposing the young man. And I even heard someone say, oh, we know his address, we'll come after him. That is criminal. Okay? Deal with the institution, deal with the merits of the whole case. Don't target the person. Okay? He's just doing his job. And I don't know why also lately there's this attitude of going on social media and calling on, the party base. Hey, let us all converge at the CID headquarters. Let us converge at Ioko because someone above the law has been arrested. That is not how to build a nation. That doesn't show you. That means you don't love Ghana, because if you love Ghana, you wouldn't do that. And I've seen a lot of these politicians do that very often. Someone is arrested, then they take to social media, oh, this person has been arrested, so all of you, I'm out at, And I've always told the security officer, I was like, if these people come and cause trouble, arrest them. If you don't arrest them, you motivate them. And they'll continue misbehaving. So in my opinion, I think what is going on, like I indicated, is just a pure case of criminality. And we should deal with it as such. The seeming politicization of a rather simple criminal matter is not what is going to save the gentleman in question.
Comfort, let me give you a word on this. What do you expect to happen? The NPP says the demand is clear. Revise the bill conditions and then let Chairman Wontumi walk free. I mean, you think Yoko should be listening to this, obviously, because this is degenerated into a point where the number of people that are packed at the Yoko office yesterday and the number of people that were at NIB yesterday, tomorrow is a weekend. People have a lot of free hand on their hand. The NPP can mobilize a large group of people to be at these places. Do you think Yoko should be listening to some of these demands?
Let them be there. Then in their homes, maybe they don't have anything trouble doing. They're just an individual, and then it has been arrested by Yoko sent to NIB headquarters. So I should go and picket in front of NIB headquarters for what? I mean, for what? Article 17 says that no one is above the law. Everyone is equal before the law. We hear cases of somebody stealing as little as 150 Ghana cedis, and the person is sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. Honorable members of parliament don't complain, right? But then when it happens to somebody like a party chairman, then yes, we should just let down the law. And then I am coming from the point where I feel like these are all attempts towards President John Mahama's administration. Because this man is just like a few months into his term of office, and then every day there is an issue. I was rather thinking that now that the CD is appreciating, the dollar is going down, these people would rather, support, and then we would think of a better Ghana where we are all working, we are all pushing, whether you are in opposition or whether you are incumbents, we are all working to push Ghana forward. But no, what do we see? I think it's high time this, political polarization should stop in Ghana, because it's really uncalled for. Chairman Wontumi is not above the law, just like I said, and you all actually alluded to it, that Eduboahin had his bill, revised. So, honorable members of parliament, the minority members, if they want, they are saying that Wontumi cannot afford the 50 million Ghana cedis worth of properties, they should apply to court.
To apply to the High Court and get a bill. Thank you very much, Comfort. Thank you very much, Ernesto Yeboah. And thank you very much, Adib Sani. We were unable to connect with Dennis Apialabi, who was also able to join us. But thank you all for making this a brilliant show today. Let me read this message. It says, what is wrong for MPs to demonstrate for the right thing to be done? Were the panelists dead when the NDC, then minority, marched on the street of Accra to demonstrate against the Electoral Commission? Were they alive? Were the pro-NDC group, Democracy Hub? Well, I'm not sure Democracy Hub can be described as a pro-NDC group. But anyway, that's your point. For 3 days and brought Accra to a standstill. Tell them allegations remain allegations until otherwise proven in court. My name is Kwaku Asante. Thank you for watching. For me, it's a conversation to be had about using state security to do the kind of things that we always see. It's a mess. This is clearly something for the political parties to look at and know that at some point people will account for some of these things and then we have to act within the law. There are those who question where some of these minority MPs were. Some people, where were they when protesters who were protesting against the Galamsey were arrested, picked up, thrown into Nsawam for 14 days? Well, a court did that. But we must get to a point where some of these issues having to do with civil liberties are properly respected. I'm not sure we've quite gotten it really well, and we must do that. And this is a message to the current government. It's a message to the MPP, which is definitely a government in waiting. And if any of the trajectory that we have is anything to go by, we'll definitely return to government at some point. We need to do better. My name is Kwaku Asante. I'll see you again same time next week.
Auntie, I beg.